In many ways, the situation in the United States today is not dissimilar from the one that Gerald Ford faced when he placed his hand on the Bible on August 9, 1974, to take the oath of office. At that time, recession was presenting the country with what could arguably have been said to be its worst economic time since the Great Depression. And we had a country that was weary of war after the Vietnam experience. Americans, when President Ford took over the Oval Office, were really quite jaded, and with some justification, in my view, about a political system that many felt had let them down. Our national psyche was taking a beating. Countless people worried that the American dream had become a thing of the past. And then into this national morass came a man with a true, I think anybody would say, true moral compass. He exemplified the plain talk of a Midwesterner, the resolution of a Michigan Wolverine offensive lineman, the bravery of a Pacific War hero, and the intellect of a Yale Law School graduate. He was all of that, ladies and gentlemen, but he was much, much more. And most of all, I think I would sum it up by saying he was simply a beautiful human being. I don't know anybody that ever worked with him or for him that would disagree with that statement. He may have lacked glibness, but he had something much, much more important. He had character. He had integrity. Gerald Ford, as the country and indeed the entire world would soon learn, possessed some character traits that we associate oftentimes with the Boy Scouts. He was trustworthy. He was loyal. He was reverent. Of course, this shouldn't have come as a surprise since he was the first American president, after all, who earned the rank of Eagle Scout. But for President Ford, decency and honor were more than merely words that politicians throughout the ages have repeated in high-minded speeches. These were ideals, in his view, to be incorporated into the way one lived one's life. So today, 101 years after he was born, and almost 40 years after he became president, an office that he did not initially seek, but which he graciously accepted, we remember Gerald Ford as an honest, ethical, and talented public servant. Most of all, we remember him as a leader with unquestionable character and integrity. But we also remember him, and perhaps most importantly, as a true American patriot who always, always, always put his country's interests ahead of his own. Our country would be a lot better off today, and our future would be a lot brighter tomorrow if our elected officials could call upon those traits that defined President Ford's leadership as they confront the difficult challenges that lay ahead.
Grand Valley State University, through its Hauenstein Center for Presidential Studies, is proud to offer the center's most prestigious honor, the Colonel Ralph W. Hauenstein Fellowship, to the 61st U.S. Secretary of State, James A. Baker III. He was appointed Secretary of State by President George H.W. Bush in 1989 and served through 1992. And in that role, Secretary Baker successfully oversaw United States foreign policy during the end of the Cold War, as well as in the First Persian Gulf War. Secretary Baker served during an important period of U.S. foreign relations. He was influential in overseeing American foreign policy during those tumultuous and uncertain times. Following communism's downfall in Eastern Europe and the breakup of the Soviet Union, he helped guide this country with a steady hand. Secretary Baker is presently a senior partner in the law firm of Baker Botts in Houston. He is honorary chairman of the James A. Baker III Institute for Public Policy at Rice University. He received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1991 and has been the recipient of many other awards for distinguished public service, including the Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government Award. For all his accomplishments, the Hauenstein Center for Presidential Studies is proud formally to recognize Secretary Baker with this fellowship. Established in 2010 in conjunction with the 50th anniversary of Grand Valley State University, the founding of the university, the Hauenstein Fellowship honors distinguished individuals who have helped shape the policies that have profoundly influenced the course of our nation and our world, and whose leadership and public service are in keeping with the life and the values of Colonel Ralph W. Hauenstein.